What's up, y'all? It's Shuffle, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Duelist mod for Darkest Dungeon 1. If you're unaware, Duelist is a Darkest Dungeon 2 new class from Red Hook, so seeing her get ported over is pretty cool. And so, since I played a lot of DD2 and a lot of DD1, I'll go through and kind of explain the transition and show you how it happened or what they use and what they didn't use, and then we'll play her a little bit and do some reviews on all the skills and trinkets and stats. So made by a very talented group here, very awesome. They did their homework. They definitely understood the character, and so looking through this, she looks really good in the art. And this is a bunch of her background. Basically, her story is that she wanted to get so good at fencing, but then she also fell in love with her instructor, and her story plays out in the DD2 Hero Shrine. So I'm not going to spoil it, but that's what ends up happening. For skills, actually, let's look at the base stats. Base stats, 35 HP is okay. 35 dodge is a lot. This is level 6. 9 crits, about what I would expect her to have. 9 speed also, and then 9 to 14. So these stats are actually pretty fair. So nothing ridiculous, nothing out of bounds, and I always talk about mod tooltips being so cumbersome. But first, a word from our sponsor. Dimensionals is a turn-based roguelike card game with awesome art. Frequent viewers of the channel will take any one of those tags, but to have all of them together is pretty awesome. Dimensionals does its best to capture the feeling of Saturday morning cartoons with the visual, the writing, and the voice acting. Plus, the music kinda slaps. The gameplay of Dimensionals has the player make teams of 3 heroes who do their best to get through a randomized run. The cards that appear during the run are based on the 3 heroes that you pick. Each hero gets specific passives and abilities, while the player is able to jumble all of these things together to try and make a synergistic squad. The heroes in the demo were super fun, and I'm greatly looking forward to the ones yet to come, like Pyro Paws. I have 2 cats. I have to go all in on the cat hero. It's like a requirement. Dimensionals has something for everyone. If you want to hyper-optimize heroes and cards to make nutty combos, it's there. If you want to see mega cute and cool art, they got you. You can even throw for content by spamming Ghost Potion. All you need to do, humble viewer, is to go down under the video and click the link that will take you to the Steam page so you can wishlist the game. Your click is free, by the way. The sooner the better too, since Dimensionals by Minnow Games releases on November 18th, just in time for you to have an excuse to ditch your extended family that you didn't want to see over the holidays anyway. Thank you again, Minnow Games, for sponsoring us, and now let's get back to the video. However, these are pretty good because she has 2 stances. She can be an aggressive stance or defensive stance, and in DD2 she gets different effects on her abilities depending on the stance. She can also have no stance, but you don't get any bonuses, so normally you're not trying to do that. And the moves that made it over from DD2 is Flesh. This is a big thrust damage move, kind of like Lunge. And just like in DD2, she gets bonus damage and crit for being an aggressive. And in DD2, if she's in defensive, she doesn't lose her dodge, like her dodge tokens, her dodge buffs, But in this, instead it activates Riposte, which is pretty interesting. Touche, this is like her bread and butter move. With, let's see, 115 on Flesh, 110, pretty good accuracies, honestly. They're on the high end, but she is an accurate character, so it makes sense. And with Touche specifically, what I thought was pretty cool is they're going with not the base Duelist. So in DD2, characters can have specializations. They're called paths. So Wanderer, this is like base Duelist, and then Instructress is one of her paths. Antagonist is one, and then Intrepid. We just say Intrepid, but it's probably like Intrepid, So the one they took, from what it appears, is Antagonist, which I thought was a great choice because the base Duelist is pretty much just like move around a little bit, do some big damage, dodge some stuff. Like it plays very just simply, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Antagonist though, in DD2, this path is really fun because it turns her into a debuffer. So she's not as focused on moving. She's more focused on like crippling the enemy and setting up teammates. So having this is really nice. And looking at Touche, you don't have to know what the tokens mean. Basically, in aggressive, she makes it so the enemy takes more damage. And in defensive, they deal less damage. We see that here. Aggressive stance. Target takes increased damage. Defensive stance. Reduce damage. Disengage. I'm pretty sure this is very similar. Does it combo in? Yes, it does. So yeah, this is straight antagonist. So combo is the DD2 equivalent of Mark. And in the mod, so she gives herself a little bit of dodge, gets out of the way, she moves backwards, has lower damage because it's more of a defensive move, switches her to the right stance, which is defensive. If she's an aggressive, she marks the target, and if she's already in defensive, it debuffs their accuracy, which is what happens here. So in defensive, she gives them 2 blind tokens, which hampers their accuracy. Looking at the boots, this is the same as DD2, where basically if they're comboed, aka marked, you can stun them and knock them back. Lower damage, perfect, right? Like everything is so well researched here, and it's very carefully measured, and so I think that's really awesome for what they ended up doing. And the one thing I'm not the biggest fan of initially is that Daze Chance is based on debuff res. So Daze is exactly like Butcher Circus, where that unit has to take its turn at the end of the round. And so having Daze be a debuff instead of a stun, especially because it's yellow, I don't necessarily like that too much. It does make it more universally good, of course, but you know, I'm not totally on board with that, but that's one minor nitpick. And so yeah, we get some stuns, we get some knockbacks, combos, all kinds of good stuff. Again, in the correct stances. Coup de grace, this is a move that gives tokens in aggressive. So again, damage taken and then less damage dealt. And then in defensive, it stuns. So it's exactly the same as the DD2 counterpart. I wish I could collapse the Wanderer section so this would be easier to see, but it is what it is. So yeah, same thing, right? Aggressive stance, it's the sword. And then do less damage, take more damage. In defensive, we stun also. And then in what is it? In DD2, it removes her stance. Does it do it in this? I don't think it does. I'm not quite seeing it, but that's fine. No, it's just a thing. Preparation, switch to another stance. So instead of giving her a move called Feint, which she has in DD2, I don't know why it's not up at the top. Oh wait, because it doesn't change. So Feint, you know, just kind of pokes an enemy for some light damage, and then it flips her stance, and then she gets riposte. And Preparation switches stances, but she doesn't get riposte from it. And what happens with Preparation in DD2 is she gets pretty much a supercharge. So she gives herself strength, so she does bonus damage, and then a speed token, so she goes first guaranteed next round unless someone else has a speed token or something happens. And when she is in aggressive, because it puts her into aggressive, but when it's upgraded, it also gives her a guaranteed crit, which is this crit token. And then in defensive, she gets bonus riposte damage. So in this, doesn't quite do all of that. However, lets you switch stances on first use, buff party until combat end, minus stress taken, 10 accuracy. That's kind of huge. But again, you what is it? That's just a battle long buff, and then every other use after that, you get an extra action. So this kind of emulates the speed token, which On paper, this is pretty nutty, but it probably ends up being okay, because if you're spending your turn to get the extra action, you're not really coming out ahead on action economy, you know? Yeah. Then we have, again, this is one of her buff moves. She has a couple of these, and so it stuns herself, which I'm pretty sure it does something similar in this. So, again, actually not quite. So, in DD2, it clears a target's skill cooldown. So, if they have, because cooldowns are more prevalent in DD2, so it'll be like if they use a move and you can't use it again for like 2 turns, this erases it. If they have multiple moves on cooldown, takes those off too. Removes their stance tokens, and then upgraded half the time it does that. But in this, it stuns her. And then debuff self can't gain stance effects on next skill, so kind of erases the stance. And then extra action for non-lethal attack / friendly skills. So what I'm reading here, and again, we're going to test it in game, but I'm pretty sure what this means is, because you can't clear skill cooldowns in DD1, that's just not a thing. You have skill uses or just infinite use. It is the closest thing to emulating removing a skill cooldown within the parameters of DD1. So you just get an extra non-lethal, like non-aggressive, you know, friendly, buff, helpful move, you know. So that's pretty cool. Her camp skills. The rest of her skills, because everyone in DD2 has 11 abilities. Some of them get modified by paths, not all of them do. And since everyone has 11, you can pick 5, but in DD1, you can have 7 skills, so you have to pick 4. So what they ended up doing, which is pretty clever, is they took some of the moves that are, you know, regular abilities in DD2, and they made them camp skills. The reason I think this is pretty smart is because in the second game, a lot of characters that didn't necessarily, or since there's no camping in 2, a lot of the moves that were camp skills got transferred, or transformed, I should say, into being regular abilities. So it's kind of cool that from 1 to 2, you know, they reworked camp skills to be like regular abilities, and then from 2 to 1, they took regular abilities and made them camp skills. I thought that was really, really smart. Meditation is what she has here, if I can find it. Here we go. So meditation's like one of her best moves in DD2, and it just gives her dodge on defensive, riposte on aggressive, and she taunts. Taunt does exactly what you think it does. It makes someone attack that person if they are able. So she gets a couple of those. And then she removes combo, aka mark. In DD2, so we don't get the riposte thing, or the riposte tokens, or riposte attacks, but meditation gives her bonus damage and crit and aggressive for 4 battles, really good. And then 15 dodge if she goes to defensive. So it emulates this pretty effectively. Displacement, this doesn't really match up with anything that I can tell offhand. Like Ruthless Instructions there, Flicks there, again got covered. The boot we saw, Prep got covered. And then Disengage, Feint's gone. It's just kind of like spread out between things. Then we have Touche, which is their normal attack. So Displacement's kind of, you know, a new thing, and it's straightforward. 10 dodge minus move res, which in DD2, move res doesn't really matter for her in a lot of cases because she's already a mobile character, but in DD1, it might be more impactful. Flick is a move that doesn't see too much use in the second game, but it's really specialized in penetrating defenses, though. In aggressive stance, you get through block, so that's reduced damage taken. In defensive, you ignore dodge, so that's an evasion bonus. There's no accuracy in DD2, by the way, so that's why there's all these tokens, but yeah. And so Flick gets turned into a camp skill, where instead of all that defensive penetration here, we just get passive riposte. Looks like the whole time, right? No, for 4 battles, I assume, but that's pretty cool. So 95 on the accuracy, slightly better than most riposts. I think like Hyoman's 85 and Man-Arm's 90, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then she gets bonus riposte accuracy too. So it gets pretty up there. In fact, this might be really good for leveling her up because you get a bunch of accuracy, you know? So, a bit different. From DD2, we have Ruthless Instruction. So, one companion has a good chance of losing 50 stress and getting 12% crit for 4 battles. That's pretty awesome. And Ruthless in DD2 is a bit weird. It's really good on Instructress, but the other paths don't really do anything to it, so in the second game here, it gives a target extra evasion, so more dodge, and then depending on the stances when it's upgraded, because you can upgrade skills, it ignores blind, so your accuracy can't be lowered by the enemy, although you can still miss them if they have dodge, and then you still get dodge here. So, like I said, not the best move in the second game baseline. The path for it's really good, and this one, like, this is still a good skill. And 4 is pretty fair, honestly. That's a lot of stress, so I think it's pretty good. Look at the trinkets. Since I didn't load them in with the boot up of the game, I forgot how to, but it is possible. And first one is Spare Grip, extra dodge, extra accuracy. Very powerful together. Like, this is insane for a common. And on a kill, you have a chance to get more trinkets. I think there are a couple other mods that have trinkets like this where just to help you find them faster, you know, you get an easy one to find and then it finds other stuff. Blade Oil is just really good from the look of it. This is her signature inn item because you don't camp in the second game. You go to inns and you rest there. And this is her item that she can take with her to the inn when she gets there and use it there. So bonus damage, bonus debuff chance. This is mostly for the days, but probably has a couple other debuffs. Yeah, like the minus accuracy and the touche buffs. Those are both really good. Or debuffs, I should say. So she has better chance on that, then better stun chance on Daboot. This is also why I kind of wish the days was also stun chance, so at least, you know, this kind of spreads out the benefits, you know. Anyway, Dark Lanthorn, I don't know if it's pronounced lantern or what, but 25% damage taken in defensive when using attacks and riposte. Heal party for 5% max HP. That's kind of crazy. On riposte hit, debuff accuracy by 12. So we're going to look at her items, which should be here. Yeah, so in DD2, we're looking on this side here. There's all the descriptions. The Dark Lanthorn, which I think they just ported over the picture, right? Yeah. I wasn't sure if they redid it, but the lantern and the glove are both really good because it starts her in a stance, so she doesn't have to take a turn getting into one, so they kind of just speed her up by a turn. Makes them really good. And the lantern in the second game makes it so her riposte skills blind the targets sometimes, and gain 1 hit, she catches fire, so she burns, which is bleed or blight. It's just another damage over time, but there's no burn in this game. So what they ended up doing is changing it so you just take bonus damage. And then seeing how this trinket works, it makes sense that the riposte debuff is minus accuracy. The party heal 5% of max HP. That might be one of her benefits, because she's really complex in the way that her stances also dictate some different effects, and the game doesn't like outright tell you. So the party heal might be something for antagonist, I forget, without looking at it. And let's see. Actually, does it say on the riposte? I'm curious now. All right, I'm tired of looking for it, but you know, different effects on the stances. And I have to boot up the game at this point, I think, to double check them, which you can, but I'm not going to. Anyway, yeah, that's what the lantern does. The glove Start combat in aggressive. Use again, the target gets a speed token, so they go first. And if you miss a target, you gain stress 25% of the time. The glove. Again, gain aggressive effects on next action. And then minus 100% stun skill chance. So you can't, I guess, give them the again action and then actually no. What I'm looking at here, on attack, miss self 8 stress, but yeah. So let's see, let's go back to again. I think that what ends up happening is oh, it's right here. I'm assuming this makes it so she can't stun herself using this, or almost can. You know, there's still the 5%. So that's pretty interesting. And if it works like it does in DD1, where their resists are taken into account, I'm pretty sure it means she just doesn't stun herself anymore. But we also can't see what her base resists are here too, so... Now that we're here too, though, let's go back to the Blade Oil so we see the damage, debuff, and stun skill chance. So what's it do in this game? Repose skills execute. Okay, I mean, that's really good. But what execution is in the first game, or second game I should say, is enemies had death blow resist that got reworked to death armor, so they can only take a certain amount of hits before they actually die. So it kind of works like death blow, but not exactly. And execution is the mechanic that bypasses that. So she is more able to kill stuff riposting it. And in this game, that execution is not a thing, so we just get a bunch of buffs, which pretty smart. Then the, let's see, the Academy Ring. This is a reference to the Leo Ring from Dark Souls, where you like the, no, the Hornet? The Hornet or the Leo Ring? I had to go to the Dark Souls wiki for this one. Yeah, the Leo Ring strengthens counters with piercing weapons. It's been a long time since I played DS, so. In DD2, you get Repose Crit. Your moves have move resistance piercing, so you can like kick them around easier. And then if you miss, you lose a dodge token if you have it. So in this game, there's the crit. Although it's not Repose Crit, it's just flat crit, which is pretty crazy. Move skill chance goes up. And debuff yourself on missing. I'm assuming you lose the 100 dodge. Like, you lose a bunch of dodge instead of, you know, obviously the enemy losing dodge, because that's the downside. And when you get the set together, you have bonus repose damage, which, you know, kind of fits. And then on attack, apply defensive stance. On attack switch to defensive. Interesting. So you're just constantly stance switching. All right. Instructor's Cape, there's no DD2 equivalent to work off of. So this ends up just kind of being a little generic, which I'm definitely not opposed to. You know, you can only do so much, right? And so you get a bunch of dodge, really good. Touche moving back one space is what she can do in DD2 if she's not antagonist. Her touche attack will move her forward in aggressive and back in defensive. So this kind of gets close to doing that. And then finally, the posthumous tutelage. I'm pretty sure I know whose skull that is, unless it's a placeholder. You know, if you've seen her story, you probably figured it out. And 40% damage drop. Prep lasts for one more combat, so you can carry it around with you. And then on skill combat and switch to defensive. I don't know if you can carry defensive with you. We'll see when we test it out. And then friendly skills take off mark. And then she'll mark herself. So more likely to get attacked and trigger riposte. Alright, this is my mod testing file. We're taking a team with Sahar and doing just a Radiant run real quick, just to show her off and level her up. You know, one mission she'll be 6, then we can check out the other stuff. So actually, let's look at her base resist. Stun very low, interesting. Blight, lead, move, all pretty normal-ish. And then debuff is 20. Actually, is she like a... Did they give her the rogue trap disarm? Base 70? I don't think so. Yeah, so what is it, level 4? So that's like plus 40. Oh, 80? Maybe not. I don't know. Regardless, small things to look at. So let's take her for a spin in this Weak ass ruins level. Get a couple things. Prep as normal. Following my own preparation guide, by the way. So, if you ever need tips on what to bring to a dungeon, I got you. But yeah. Oh, do we have keys? We do have keys. All right. Let's go. Check her out. Oh, wait. I think... Can I do it in combat? I forgot to look at her outfits. Her outfits are all straight from DD2. And they're very well done. So...
To prosecute our war against
I can do it.
We must first scout their
Alright, so...
homes.
Quit yapping, Wayne. We're starting to call him the Yapidemic in DD2. Yeah, this is her canon outfit, or base outfit, I guess. This is the... One of her paths, I want to say it's... Instructress. And then this is Intrepid, I think. And then... No, this might be Intrepid. And then the black one... I think the black one's Antagonist, so... We can double check, but not really the most important. Basically, her 4 outfits came with her. Actually, did they change her weapon? Oh, they didn't. Okay. Understandably. They give her, like, different colors on the hilt, but... In DD2, you can also change what the weapons look like, not just the outfits. Love the Warren's layout. It's always an easy one to deal with. Of course there's a trap.
Carelessness will find no clemency in this place.
Oh, hold on. That is a citrine. We don't keep those. As customary. Nice. Got to fight immediately. For big ass stance token that's... Good. So we don't forget what it is. Alright. Nice miss, or nice not enough damage. I don't care about these characters though. Let's get to Sahad. Alright, so she starts an aggressive, because I don't have any of her trinkets, so... Touche damage received goes up. Let's see, back 1. She can't move forward, can she? Oh, forward 3 with flesh. So what, forward 3 and then like disengage? She's already an aggressive. Oh, remove dodge buffs gained from combat skills. See, perfect. This shouldn't be able to hit 4. This should be 1, 2, 3, not 2, 3, 4, because pretty sure that's how it is in DD2. Regardless. Nice. Definitely not enough cake on that move. You look at the DD2 animation was very surprising. The first time we saw it. It's like, oh.
Disadvantage.
That is a choice.
No
nice dodge, Hellion. Alright, let's see if we can do something else. We're gonna try and switch up the abilities too. The next round too. So everything we use will take off. So we use Flesh, Ears, Das Boots, and also Disengage. Nice. Animations are very much what the game has. Just trying to crit fish there. Heal some random stress. Wicked Slice. Okay. I'm in defensive now too, so I can like debuff damage take or damage dealt. Alright, so that looks pretty much what it should look like. Just the normal poke. Again, very well researched. Take all the stuff.
Remind yourself that overconfidence.
Pop the chest. Not lowering my torch. Don't really care that much. Alright. We used 3 attacks, right? We used Touche, Disengage, and Flesh. So we're going to use Coup de Grace again and Prep this time. If she's still in a stance, I wish it would show it like in between, just so you know. But I guess it doesn't really matter that much because like you go into the next fight, you're gonna see it anyway. Can I get some fights? Like god dang, 90% of rooms. I'm gonna cut this one off. Yeah, so let's go this way and then we'll go around.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
Banditos. Does surprise. Alright, kill the gunner bandits.
Destroyed.
Never a fan. Let's see. Alright, and then Sahar. She's still an aggressive. Okay. After first use, gain extra action. Oh, this isn't leveled. That's why the effect's lower. Let's see. We just coup de grace. I kind of want to swap to get the stun. Also boot someone. Like this. Nice. It's one of the most satisfying moves in the game, dude. Cannot act before its allies who are not dazed. See, that's exactly what it should be. And now we have a marked target.
Obliterated.
Nice synergy. She has a little bit of everything, which is cool. She got some displacement. She has damage, obviously, some support. So, again, a great job fleshing her out. No pun intended off of the flesh move.
Destroy them all.
All right, hopefully there's another fight in here. Probably should have stalled that one out. Had to clear the whole dungeon for one fight. Make sure to show off our girl here. Let's see, 10 to 18. I kind of want to, and use these from 2? Yeah, okay. Do a little bit of stalling here. Even get the stun off. So no one's dying. Uh-oh. No! Surprised that didn't disease. Let's see. I guess I could stun. No, it doesn't stun here. This is the damage version, so. Let's see. Again, cannot gain stance effects on next skill. Oof. It's actually kind of rough. Alright, so let's just see it. Of course, she pulls out that little baby pistol, but actually just does incredible work with it.
Their formation is broken. Maintain.
We're gonna try and do the double heal next turn. Should have brought a stun trinket. Maybe I could have double stunned that, but that's fine. Does this take her turn? Let's see. Nice, that's what it looks like. It does take her turn, okay. I'm really impressed with just how this character transitioned here. Like, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And animations are on point. Skills are on point. The things that couldn't be transferred got transferred pretty well, which I like. Alright, this is the last move. Again. Stuns herself. Let's see. She doesn't get a second tick, which is the turn indicator. I can shoot here. Oh, there it is! It says non-lethal skill. I guess you just shoot twice. I thought you had to heal twice. Or you had to use a friendly skill. I'm probably just reading it incorrectly. That's cool.
Decimated.
That's awesome.
Success.
Like,
so
definitely insane. You know, you want the DD2 experience in this game before Project Iron Crown exists for you to play, then get this. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough good things about it. We're gonna check out her. We're gonna upgrade her a little bit here,
Caretaker. I fear his long-standing
and then we'll
duties here
wrap up.
affected
Alright, where are you?
him.
She's all the way at the bottom. I gotta slow down on this, so I want to see what the weapons and armor come up as. So the first piece of gear is always, or the first level, or the next level, I should say, from base gear is always just the colored in version. So looking cool. Got the beat up rapier and her patched up suit. Sharpened rapier. Ooh. Oh, I bet you these are the weapon kits. The weapon outfits, or whatever you want to call them, from the second game, right? They're going to change the handle based on that. Okay, just a nice looking fencer suit. Elegant suit, so she's getting the cape. Looking very close to how she normally looks. Different handle. Yeah, I think they got it right. I gotta double check, but... Perfection and discipline. I love these names. Yeah. Oh, that looks so good. Yo, that looks good too. Damn. All right, let's see. Okay, here are final resists. How good or bad are these? We always check Helene because she's got the most ridiculous, stupid-ass resist in the game, so... 100 to the top 4, 90 on debuff. So she can disarm, but not as well as dismiss. I guess that makes sense, though. Stun resist, pretty low. And let's see. Again, maxed out. Still base 105. I wonder if this should scale up. Maybe it shouldn't. Who cares, right? But, yeah. Solid overall. Really, really awesome. Just fantastic job. I can't say enough good stuff. The mod will be down below for you to consider and install. All of our Steam friends. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out the box, not just for the link, but also the sponsor. Thank you again. Next, we're checking out the Navigator. And I'll see you next time.